Hey, everybody, it's John Moore with the DLLS Rangers minor league recap for Monday, April 21st, 2025. We are going to recap every minor league organization in the Rangers system, where they are right now in the standings, what they've done. We'll also recap the players, both the offensive and defensive players at each level from the Saturday and Sunday games. Today is Monday, the 21st. They're off, and we'll let you know where they're going to be next time going into it. We're going to start out at AAA Round Rock. The Round Rock Express are right now 11-10 overall. They are second in the PCL East. They head out next week. They're going to be going. They're off today. Tomorrow they're back home tomorrow, and they're going to be hosting Las Vegas, who's going to come in and normally how every minor league organization does now. Tuesday through Sunday, they will host a team. No more taking off and like they used to. Every off day in the minor leagues is Monday, and the Round Rock Express are no different. Let's look at the players from the weekend that had the best weekend, and we'll start out with Cole Winn. Let me tell you what, if you guys aren't paying attention to what Cole Winn has done for the season, we've got to talk about that. But he pitched 3 innings over the weekend with 4 Ks. He still has not been scored upon. That's a huge deal. This is the first round draft pick from 2018, number 15 overall. He really just rocked through the minor leagues until he got to AAA and then really struggled for the last couple of years in AAA. He seems to be doing fine coming out of the bullpen. He's been going multiple innings, and he's done well. I think if we look at it overall, what is he? Let's see here. He is overall for this year. He's pitched 13 2/3 inning, and he has 15 strikeouts. Has not allowed opponents are hitting. Do they have the average against him? They don't. They're hitting. Anyway, he hasn't given up a run. He's only walked 4 compared to the 15 strikeouts. A lot of his big problem that he had was his control. Hats off to him. But now let's talk about the bat. And the bat for the weekend is Justin Foscue. Let's put him up there. Justin Foscue for the weekend went 5 for 10. He had a home run, 2 doubles, and he had 5 RBIs. He's hitting like 354 right now. Justin Foscue is just tearing it up right now. He has continued to hit all season. He started off great, and he's continued to hit all season. He's just blocked at the AAA level. Blaine Crim's another guy that's been hitting well up there. But hats off to Justin Foscue. Now let's go to AA Frisco. The Frisco Rough Riders are 10-5 overall. They are first place in the Texas League South Division, and they head out tomorrow, and they are going on the road. They're going to be down in Corpus Christi tomorrow through Sunday. And but over the weekend, I think they split the games over the weekend with the Sod Poodles. They had a pretty good week against them all week. Sod Poodles, they're a Padre affiliate, and they have not been very good this year. Let's go to the bats first. And you know what? We're going to talk about a guy that we have not talked about in a while. And it's time to bring him up. Aaron Zavala. Aaron Zavala was 3 for 7 over the weekend. He hit 2 home runs. He's still hitting below 200 right now. But, this is a guy that was really highly thought of when he came. He was a second-round pick coming out of college from Oregon. Was the Pac-10 Player of the Year, Offensive Player of the Year when he was there. He started out fantastic. And I don't know if y'all remember, he had that little they had something that they found on his neck or something that scared him. It ended up where he signed a smaller bonus because of something that happened with his physical, and he ended up signing for less, but he really tore it up. And he's one of these guys. He was kind of like he was Evan Carter before Evan Carter. He was a guy that had great plate discipline. He walked as much as he hit, and then he's kind of fallen off the last couple of years. He's really struggled a little bit, but good to see some of the power coming back. This was a highly thought of guy, and he did not get a major league invite this year. But on the pitching side at Frisco, another great game for Mitch Bratt. Mitch Bratt pitched 5 innings. He gave up 1 earned run, had 5 Ks. Overall this year, he's got a 2.45 ERA. Really highly thought of, this guy. He's a left-hander. that from Canada, pitched for Team Canada and got shellacked by in the WBC a couple years ago. Sorry. But has really holding his own. He was doing it at like 19 or 20 years old at the time. He shouldn't have done it, but Canada didn't have the players that the U.S. did. But he's showing why he was a pretty well regarded prospect. He's back on the prospect list, and man, oh man, he's having a good season. And he's doing it at the Double A level. Now, they always talk about the jump from high A to Double A for both pitchers and hitters is huge. And Bratt seems to be holding up just fine and doing just fine doing that. And I remember Fenstermaker listed him last year as somebody to watch who he thought was going to have a breakout year. And you have to take your hats off to Bratt. He did have a good year. Now let's go to High A, the Hub City Spartanburgers. The Hub City Spartanburgers. The Hub City Spartanburgers are 8-7. They are second in the South Atlantic League South. They lost both games over the weekend. They've started to scuttle just a little bit. They've fallen out of first place, and they lost their series against Bowling Green this week. They started out hot, won the first couple of games, and then lost the last few. So they ended up losing the series against Bowling Green. They also will stay in town after today. Tomorrow they host Greenville, who comes in to play the next week there. Not a lot of good pitching going on down there. There was hardly anybody that didn't give up any runs. But I figured what we would do is let's look at Larson Kindrich. He's really the only guy who pitched 2 innings over the weekend with 0 earned runs, and he's got a 0.0 ERA, and that's the reason he's going to get the pitcher he's going to get the pitcher of the week or whatever, not for the week, but of the weekend for the Spartanburgers. Not a lot of strikeouts. He didn't have any strikeouts in his 2 scoreless innings. He's a contact guy, but he still hasn't given up a run. He's a left-hander. So I don't know. Let's keep an eye on him. But I think he's 25 years old playing in High A. So, Larson, way to go this weekend. You were one of the few that didn't give up any runs. Let's go to the bats, which also worked fantastic. But let's give our hats off to Arturo Disla. Arturo Disla was 3 for 7 and hit 2 home runs over the weekend, and he had 4 RBIs. This is the guy it's actually from South. He's a Latin kid who came out of Latin America, but played some college ball here in the States. He played for a school in Texas, to tell you the truth. But he signed as a free agent out of Latin America. This is a big kid. He plays a lot of first base and DH. He's got a little pop in his bat, and he's had that since college. But 2 home runs, and I think he's got 4 so far for the season. But good for Arturo. Now let's go down to Low A, the Hickory Crawdads. The Hickory Crawdads are 8-7 overall right now. They are 3rd in the Carolina League South. They have fallen off a little bit. They didn't have a great weekend, hardly scored any runs over the weekend, and got swept over the weekend against Charleston. But they off today. Tomorrow, Salem comes to town. Salem's got a 5-10 record. They have not been that good, so maybe the Hickory can pick up some ground again. The pitcher for the weekend that I'm gonna pick is a name that we all need to be watching anyway. But let's go to the bat first, and let's talk about the bat first. We're gonna go with Wady Mendez. Wady Mendez was 2 for 7 over the weekend. He had 2 doubles over the weekend. Look, nobody had multiple hits in any games, but he had 2 hits in 2 games, and he had 2 doubles. He's hitting .278. He's got an .813 OPS. He's 20 years old. He's a Latin kid. He's out of the Dominican Republic. He was a player of the night the other night. So he's hitting .278. He's young. One of the Rangers Latin players that they've got. I mean, he's going to spend this year here. He's not going to be in DSL. Good for him. But the pitcher of the week. Somebody we really want to talk about again and keep an eye on, and that's Brock Porter. Brock pitched another 2 innings over the weekend with 0 hits, 0 earned runs, and 3 Ks. He still has not been scored on. I know he hasn't been starting. He's been coming out of the bullpen in most cases. Doesn't mean he's not going to be a starter the way they're doing it, though. They kind of piggyback off each other, but he's coming the way he's coming in right now. Look, he got up to high A last year, was sent back down to low A this year. He really struggled last year, and I don't know if y'all remember, he wasn't hurt, but he ended up going to Arizona for a while just to work on stuff for mechanics. He went in the lab and figured stuff out. He was just all over the place, but it looks like the velocity's back up again. He seems to be doing well. Look, he hasn't been scored on, and you're not seeing any walks, which was something that he was really dealing with there. I mean, he's had a couple walks, but he has not given up runs. He's got some Ks, 3 Ks, which he was, coming out of high school. He was big on that, but it was high school. He was one of the top pitchers in all the country coming out of high school. He was going to go to Clemson. They didn't think he was going to be able to get signed, so he slipped all the way to the 4th round, and the Rangers saved money that year with the Kumar Rocker pick and took him in the 4th round and stole him away from Clemson. Brock Porter gets that. That's the end of this week. We'll try to get back Wednesday because they do not play tonight. They'll play Tuesday night, and we'll recap it Wednesday, guys. That's the minor league recap. Until Wednesday, we'll see you at the yard.